Greetings. In this video, we'll be going over calculating profits when you see products with variations such as these. So, when you see products with variations, I would be very cautious because usually Keepa and Jungle Scout only calculate the total sales for everything on this listing and usually don't take into account how many sales each individual one gets. So let's click on this and it says 3,000, almost 4,000 monthly sales for this listing. And then if you go down here, it actually breaks it down and it says how many each different one gets, but I've tried this in the past and it hasn't been too reliable. So right here it says vanilla gets 420 a month. Here you see vanilla. Natural gets 1,000 a month. You see natural over here. Mocha gets 420 a month. You see mocha up here. Yeah, so those, I mean, I guess they're kind of reliable, but yeah, just be wary because overall this listing probably gets about 4,000 sales a month, and then you have to divide it. So a lot of people, they might see, oh, 4,000, and they think each individual flavor gets 4,000 sales, but no, it's total, it gets 4,000 sales, and that's split in between this as well. So there's 2 different sizes and 5 different flavors, so you're gonna have to divide the total sales by all of those. So let's just say this whole listing gets 4,000 sales a month and it's divided evenly by flavor and by size, which it's usually not. There's usually a flavor that's the most popular and then a size that's the most popular, but that's why you should start with small orders and test orders to see which, say you buy 20 of each or something like that, you want to see which flavor is actually doing the best and which size is actually selling the best. So you want to start out with a small test order. So to calculate it, let's just say, okay, so let's just say you want to buy berry. Okay, so I would grab the ASIN for berry, and there's a lot of different ways to do this, but let's just grab the ASIN and then input it in here. So as you could see, here's your product, and go to the item price. What was it? So yeah, this is a very, I mean, it was selling very steady, and then it dropped to $18.35. Okay, so $18.35 is the new buy box price. So let's go to FBA fee calculator and so input $18.35, and then let's just say you're buying it from your supplier for $8. So calculate that. So you would be making $2.78 off of every sale, which is a 15.15% margin. I mean, it's not a horrible product. It's not great. I mean, I would buy it if I could make at least $100 profit a month. So let's keep on calculating it. So okay, so just to make it easier and keep track, I like to make a simple Excel list to just keep track of my products and keep track of the profit and average revenue. So input the ASIN, input the link, copy that, input their Amazon link, sales, okay, so let's do, so it's 4,000 sales for the whole listing, so let's do 4,000 divided by 5, let's pull up calculator, 4,000 total sales for the listing, divided by 5 different flavors, so 800, so in a perfect world, each flavor would be getting 800 sales a month, and then you also got to take into account the 2 sizes, so I would divide that by 2, so 400, so in a perfect world, each flavor would actually be getting 400 sales a month because there's 2 sizes, so there's 13.2 ounces of berries, and then there's a 26.4 ounce of berries, and so on. So you have to divide each variation. So let's just say each flavor and each size gets 400 a month, and then now you have to divide it by how many sellers there are. So keep that number in your head, 400. We're going to divide that by how many sellers there are. Okay, so there is actually only one other seller in the buy box, which is actually the manufacturer itself. So this is not a good product to buy, but we will use this as an example. So say there's only one other seller and you, so there would be 2 total sellers competing for the buy box. So you would divide that 400 by 2, so you could expect to get 200 sales a month per flavor, per size, and the price, we said we bought it at $8. Profit was $2.78, so input your $2.78. Average revenue, we would multiply the 200 times $2.78, so pull up your calculator, and 200 times $2.78, so this single product would make you $556 a month. The buy box, what was the buy box price? $18.35. So $18.35. FBA, there was only one other FBA seller. Notes, if there's anything special, I mean, you could put maybe supplements, something like that. The ROI was like 15%. Order quantity was 200. So I would actually start with about half of the order quantity. So if I were to purchase this product first, I would make a small test order of around 100 units, if not less than that, just to make sure it's selling like I think it's selling, because maybe there really is a special flavor and that flavor is getting most of the sales. So say berry is the most popular flavor, and even though the whole listing is getting 4,000 sales a month, maybe berry is getting 3,000 sales, and then the rest of them are sharing that last 1,000 sales, and you might only end up selling a few of each different flavors a month and then selling a crap ton of berries. So start with the small test orders, even though you're doing your due diligence and you're dividing it But, I mean, we don't live in a perfect world, so you can't just depend on doing the math, and you can't just depend on these sales estimators, because they are just estimators. They don't always get it right, and you just have to test the product yourself. So always start with a small test order to begin with, and then once you have proof of how well it actually sells, then you can go ahead. But yeah, in a perfect world, this would get around 200 sales a month and give you an average revenue of $556 a month. And then you can see, obviously, if each flavor and each size does that for you, you could be making a couple $1,000s in profit a month, which is pretty good. It's not unrealistic. As you can see, even though the profit isn't that great, wholesale is all about moving units. So you might have a product with low profit like this, but if it's selling 200 units a month, 300 units a month, it starts to add up really quickly. So you want to get as many products as you can just like this, and your sales will quickly go up, and this is a very realistic scenario. So that is about it for this episode.